Welcome back everyone to a brand new episode of the MMA Business Hour. In today's episode, I want to talk about some amazing bets where we can win some cash for this weekend's UFC fight, UFC 281 in Madison Square Garden. One of my favorite bets of the weekend is moneyline Dustin Poirier. Unfortunately, this past week the money line has went from around minus 175 to it's ballooned up all the way to minus 230. So if you can get Dustin Poirier under minus 200, I think that's a great bet to win some cash. Another bet I really like this weekend is Dustin Poirier winning by knockout or TKO at plus 165. I think Michael Chandler is going to want to get in a brawl, and I think that is going to really lean in the favor of Dustin Poirier. I think Dustin Poirier's boxing is way better than Michael Chandler's. Chandler has said all week he wants to come out and mix it up and use his wrestling, but we all know once those octagon cage closes, Michael Chandler wants to get in a dogfight. He's going to meet Poirier in the middle. He's going to put the pressure on, and I think this is going to leave a lot of opportunities for Dustin Poirier to win that knockout. I mean, Michael Chandler has got clipped by Charles Oliveira. He got finished by Charles. He got clipped in his last fight against Tony Ferguson. I think this is my favorite bet of the entire weekend. Dustin Poirier winning by KO or TKO at plus 165 is great odds. For every $100 you bet, you can win $165. Sign me up for this bet, and I think you guys should too. Another bet I really love for UFC 281 is Israel Adesanya and Alex Pereira to not go the distance. There's a lot of reasons why I think this fight will not go the entire 5 rounds, especially because Alex Pereira has never fought a main event in the UFC. He's never went the full 5 rounds. Also, these guys have fought twice before in kickboxing. The first fight went the distance, but the second fight, Pereira landed an incredible knockout of Adesanya. I think Israel's going to want to get this back, and this might put him in harm's way. Alex only has to touch your chin just a little bit. Look at this fight with Sean Strickland. I mean, he absolutely blasted him into another dimension. This guy's hands are absolutely humongous. At the face-off yesterday, I mean, when they were standing face to face and Pereira put up his hands are absolutely humongous. I mean, the guy's an absolute monster. I mean, if he lands one clean shot on Adesanya, this fight is going to be over. I just don't see any situation where this goes the full 25 minutes. I think Pereira is either going to gas out or he's going to clip Adesanya and KO him. I mean, it's only going to take one punch. I mean, he's got that one punch death power, and I think at minus 120, this is an incredible opportunity for bettors to make some cash. Up next, I want to talk to you guys about my favorite underdog bet for UFC 281. And that is none other than Meatball Molly McCann. She's coming off an absolutely stunning spinning back fist knockout in her last fight. I really think the UFC wants to push Molly. She's a really fan favorite, and I think she has the potential to win this fight. We saw a few weeks back when Sean O'Malley fought Peter Yan that when that fight went to a decision, Sean, the fan favorite, got the decision. And I think that could be potentially in play for this fight. Molly's coming in at plus 265. So for every $100 you lay out, you can win $265 back. I mean, they seem like really great odds for a girl who has tremendous KO power and can finish a fight with one punch. Molly is a really, really interesting fighter. She's got a great attitude, she's got a great personality, and I would love to see her come out victorious this weekend at Madison Square Garden. The last bet I want to talk about for UFC 281 is a potential parlay with Dan Hooker and Brad Riddell. We're going to do a sweet little city kickboxing parlay here, and the odds come in for these two fights at plus 221. So if you lay down $100, you can win $221. I really like these fights, and Hooker and Riddell both need wins. They are 1 or 2 losses away from being completely removed from the UFC roster. Hooker is fighting Puelas, and Moicano is fighting Riddell. And I think these guys can both win these fights. I mean, Riddell is fighting Moicano, who's coming off a devastating loss to RDA. Rafael dos Anjos beat the living breaks off of Moicano. And that fight should have been stopped. It went the distance, the whole 5 rounds for the main event, but it probably should have been stopped in the 3rd round. So Moicano's confidence could be seriously affected. And on Hooker's situation, he has lost a lot of his fights. He lost to Michael Chandler, he lost to Islam Makhachev, he just lost to Arnold Allen by KO. I mean, Hooker has to win this fight. Poirier is a very tough guy, but I do think Hooker's ability to keep the distance and manage distance can help him get a victory here. Riddell and Hooker have to win these fights. And City Kickboxing is a great organization. They put out great, tough fighters that are always well prepared, and their backs are against the wall. So at plus 221, I love these odds, and hopefully City Kickboxing can get Hooker and Riddell back on the right track. Thanks everyone for tuning in to this episode of the MMA Business Hour. I hope you can take these bets and win some cash this weekend at UFC 281. If you haven't yet, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch everyone on the next fight.